Alright, let's begin. So for this week, we had to do the Attractor Mode, as well as high scores, full wave management, and the score manager. So currently, I'm controlling the Blastix, so we don't have AI yet. So just pretend this was the Attractor Mode. If I press the 1 key, it starts single player up, so that we can play in one player mode. Once all the critters are gone, the wave manager reads next wave. The player dies, it resets whatever the current wave is. And if the player dies for a second time, then it will update the high scores. Let's see here. Let me clean that up a bit because I didn't implement that yet. We have a new initial setup that I defaulted, as well as the score from that round. If I go to 2-player mode now we have 2 players. So player 1 plays for a bit, they get hit, it will swap over to player 2, who's also on wave 1. If player 2 can clear out wave, he can't. So if player 1 can clear out wave 2, as you see it reset back to the current scene. So if I quickly clear out the wave, it will start the second wave now, which has all the critters able to spawn. So we got all that. If I clear enough, then the flea spawns as well. If the player dies, it goes back to player 2, who is currently on the first wave, and they can play a bit more and get to the second level. They died, however, so now it resets back to the board. We have more scores updated because of the player 1, player 2 scores. If I quickly reload the game, you can see that all the scores reset because I'm not saving them to a file, so it's what I stored in the system. For problems of last week, I changed up the wave array strut so that everything is managed inside this one strut. I don't have the smaller struts like I had before. And also my wave manager now stores everything in an array rather than a list for the instantaneous responses from the 2-player mode swapping. Other than that, also my text strings, the sprite strings, they are no longer game objects managed by the HUD. They're managed independently. So we have update score, we have update initials, and we also have the update lives all handled here outside of the HUD. And yeah, so for what we had to do this week, I'll just quickly scroll through the wave manager again. It's mostly the same from last week, besides fixing up the issues of last week, where we get the file path, check if the file exists. If it does exist, we check to make sure we have what we're looking for at each line. If we don't, we say what we're missing, what line to check, and then we crash fast. Game Master, we added an idle play. This is also where scores are sent. So after each round of gameplay, we will send scores to the high score list. If a score is given and we find a position for it, so if it is greater than something on the spot, on the list, we keep iterating through the list until we find a value that is the score does not beat. We break out of that, we insert the score at that position as well as the initials, and then we shift all the scores it was higher than down one so that it can slide in properly. Other than that, we have the HUD, so this is where everything is drawn. I have the dirty flag set up properly so that if it exists in the scene, it will be drawn. Otherwise, it gets skipped. And then we have the attractor scene, control scene. Sorry about that. So this is where we pass through the integers that I was talking about. These are where the scores from the last round are sent to the idle play to see if we need to make a new record. And then we also have keybinds here for starting single player and 2-player mode. And that's it.